Scott, who has some updates to share. We obviously launched radFi on this show back in, I believe, August. It was a huge success.
Good to be back. When we launched, definitely was really excited about the receptiveness of the Bitcoin community and especially surprised about the adoption we got in Asia. We learned that the protocol we designed needed to be able to scale more. We were kind of surprised at the amount of trading activity and just how much was happening, and we thought we'd have more time to scale, but that's what we've been up to. Making this infrastructure, actually being able to deliver on the message of giving the DeFi experience users expect without having to compromise on having wrapped Bitcoin or going to another network. So no compromise on security.
The mechanism, locking up your funds, multi-sig, can you just explain that? That's the critical piece here that enables a really, really cool architecture and great user experience that people really did not think was possible on L1.
Sure, yes. The radFi trading wallet, it's really like an extension of your self-custodial keys. When you're using a ledger, for example, you have an infinite number of addresses, and the radFi trading wallet you can kind of think of as just another one of those. But radFi has a signature on it. We can't transfer funds out. We can't do anything without your permission, but we have a signature on it. So that enables us to assume that a transaction is final as soon as it's been broadcast. It requires two signatures, one from radFi, one from the user's personal keys to do anything. And that allows us to know that people will not RBF, they won't cancel, they won't try and double spend, and we can consider trades final as soon as they're broadcast, which is essentially just making Bitcoin layer one faster. Really, our goal here is like trying to get as much adoption of the radFi trading wallets as possible, more Bitcoin in them, and then that's directly accessible, higher velocity Bitcoin that can trade and do a lot more stuff.
This is actually L1 stuff. Like, it is truly trustless. Scott has created a system where I still control my assets.
You could withdraw from Binance directly to your radFi trading wallet because it's just Bitcoin. You could deposit from your radFi trading wallet directly to a Bitcoin address. You're not going anywhere.
And for you to steal the funds, you need my signature on the transaction. So unless I sign, you cannot steal the funds, correct?
That is correct, yes. The trust assumptions of the radFi trading wallet in terms of like what would need to happen for these funds to get stolen is the same as if they were in your own wallet. If North Korea gets your private key, then the funds will be gone. But if North Korea gets my private key, nothing's happening to your funds. Literally doesn't matter at all.
Right. It's that 2 of 2 multi-sig, which traditionally, if I said 2 of 2 multi-sig to people, they'd get scared because what if one of the parties no longer signs? What if the party they're trusting loses this private key? Well, now you're screwed and now the funds are locked forever because you don't have both parties to sign. You guys have this fallback mechanism where when you create your radFi account, this 2 of 2 multi-sig is set up. You can set it to be in 3 months, I want these funds to default back. So the absolute worst case situation, basically your funds could be frozen until that period of time ends. So this is very much passing the self-custody test to me. I think it's a very eloquent solution. You told me that you guys had been cooking up some stuff for radFi. What's going on?
When we had peak attention in the last summer, we ran into 2 key bottlenecks. When there was multiple people trying to trade at the same time, we were getting a lot of dropped trades, unhappy users, and money left on the table. Lose-lose. We had to go back to the drawing board and figure out how can we stay on L1 while delivering a trading experience that people expect. So we needed to add a very real slippage component, and we needed to enable more than 25 trades per block per pool, constraints that we had from Bitcoin. So we've spent the last few months architecting and implementing a new user experience that is more trading terminal style. And you're going to see charts, cleaner kind of user experience, just a better, more fun UX that the market has been shifting to away from these like swap interfaces. But then we added 2 key features that are extremely important to stop with the dropped trades. We added legitimate slippage. So you can put in 10% slippage. And if somebody trades before you, you're not going to get a dropped trade anymore. You won't have to sign a second time. You'll just get whatever price was based on your slippage tolerance. And the other one that I'm excited about is we're calling it delayed broadcast. And that pretty much means if we reach the parent-child limit of spending UTXOs because we have a lot of trading activity, that we will store the signed trade by both parties. So 2 of 2 multi-sig will credit your account to the end user. It's going to feel exactly like the trade is done. We won't actually broadcast it to the mempool until the previous 25 trades have been confirmed in a block. So that essentially allows us to process an unlimited number of trades. And every time a parent-child string is confirmed, we just broadcast the next set of parent-child strings. And this is still Bitcoin layer 1, still executing on Bitcoin layer 1. There's other things we can add to it that'll allow anybody to broadcast it if radFi were to go down. This is the first iteration of a delay broadcast, but it essentially allows us to fully bypass the limits that we were hitting during like the node strategy launch, during the pizza strategy launch, even during the rad launch when too many transactions in a single block. So that limit is now completely bypassed. It'll never be an issue again on radFi. No one will have a drop trade from that.
Interesting. So it'll be like a queue.
It's called the DBQ, the delayed broadcast queue.
Okay, and the reason why other applications could not build something like this is because they don't have that 2 of 2 multisig. You can guarantee somebody cannot spin the UTXO. You would not allow that to be signed. That multisig cannot spin that UTXO without you and the person whose wallet it is both signing. And you have logic in your system that will not sign it if that UTXO is currently in a string basis.
Correct. We prevent users from doing malicious things.
So the other thing people would complain about was the slippage thing.
Quote expired. Please try again. So slippage, how does it work? We implemented it in a way that there's some trust assumptions with the slippage piece. So, people have the option to have no trust assumptions and do zero slippage and keep trying to slam through trades. But if they want to have some slippage, they only have to trust us for the piece of it that is slipped. This is how it works. Very simple example. You want to sell some BTC for 100 stablecoin, 100 BUSD. You set slippage to 10%. So that means the minimum you would receive is 90. And when we agree to the PSBT, it's going to be selling some amount of Bitcoin and you're going to be receiving 90 BUSD. And then we calculate based on other trades what your trade actually executed at. Let's say it actually executed at 95, that there was only actually 5% slippage. And you won't notice this at all in the user experience. You'll just see 95 BUSD in the UX. In the next action that you take, like literally any action, any trade, withdrawing, like anything that you do will transfer you the extra 5 BUSD from the slippage.
It's nice in that you're basically guaranteed everything except for the slippage. Then the slippage, they're trusting you. But then even that little piece, I put trustlessness into 2 categories. Am I trusting you for a long period of time, or am I just trusting you for a short little thing? And when it's the short little thing that you execute, this is actually very nice because of course you're never going to screw your users over, because the first person you screwed over with that slippage, nobody's ever going to use the slippage again and trust you.
Yeah, exactly. The incentives are definitely aligned to deliver properly, and there is an audit trail. All the transactions are posted on mainnet, so you can see what trades came through and what the parameters were, and anyone who wanted to analyze and prove if we were being malicious somehow has the ability to do so. And then also, the option is still there to set slippage to 0. Like if you just want to trade massive size in one clip in a chart or something, you can still do that.
It totally makes sense to me. I think it's a very logical solution. Between the slippage and the delayed broadcast, you've solved 95% of what your users were complaining about.
I would go as far as to say 100% with the UX improvement.
Love it.
We're going to be doing a trading competition. The whole purpose of the competition is to just get as many transactions as possible, just like battle testing the infrastructure. So we picked the 5 coins that have the most liquidity on radFi: Pizza, Node Strategy, Rune World, Rad tokens, and Bot. Anyone who wants their token included, we're definitely open to it. We just need liquidity. If you want to slap some liquidity into the radFi pool, I would love to get dogs. Same with the puffs. Getting out up to like 25 or 50K, I'd be happy to include it. But the main point of this competition is just getting as much trading as possible to battle test the infrastructure and make sure slippage works properly. We're giving away around 10 grand to the top 10 participants, and most points generated by a community is what the payout of the prize is. We're going to be launching that sometime next week, assuming that the soft launch of the infrastructure goes well, and that'll be like a hard launch. Just try and break this thing. Try out a trade. If you find a bug, pop open a ticket, let us know. We're going to try and hammer out as many bugs as possible ahead of the trading competition.
Love it. I just want to see Rune do well. And God is building a platform that I think really addresses this trenches problem that the Runes have. I want to see Runes win. Scott, you built the tech to do it. I want to blow this thing up. I want to get some Runes runners. I want to tweet about them. I want to get people interested in Bitcoin meme coin.
Let's do it, bro.
So I'm just excited to see this. We work with Scott to some extent. They're using some of our infra, and so we're going to keep on supporting that. I'm just excited.
Appreciate the opportunity to come up here again. Talk again soon.